All right, guys, welcome back to the Beggars Canyon Boys. No funny intro happened. This is episode 62.
Whoa.
Yes. We're back. We're talking about the Clone Wars once again, season 6. And I'm joined as always by Ryan, but not as always by a very special guest. Who has been here before. Welcome back to the podcast, Chelsea.
Thank you. Hi.
Yes. We're excited to have... Sorry, I didn't have any reaction to that because right when you said that, I was like, uh-oh, it's about to shut down, but it just froze on me for a second. So I think we're okay. But yeah, and Ryan's here too. But we kind of, I take him for granted at this point. It's like,
I'm glad you said it. Someone said it. You do take me for granted. Again, I think that came from the heart a little bit. And just maybe take a look at this recording afterwards and see what feelings arise when you look back and you see that you said that.
I don't like when you fight in front of me.
I know, you're right. We
Dad!
need to be on our best behavior.
Yeah,
there's no trouble in paradise.
You're right. Oof. Yeah. So we're talking five episodes of season 6 of the Clone Wars. This is episodes 5 through 9. I think there's a 3-part arc about Rush Clovis, and then the 2-part Mace Windu and Jar Jar Binks adventures. Chelsea's back because, of course, we wanted to have her back in general, but she had asked to, if when I asked her what Clone Wars episode she would want to be on, it was the Umbara stuff and this second. So I guess right out the gate, I am curious, like what about these Jar Jar and Mace Windu episodes makes you excited?
Oh wait. It was those ones specifically, not the Clovis ones?
Yeah.
I wanted
Wonderful.
the Jar Jar canonically sliding in the DMs. No, it's manyfold, okay? So for one, it was one of those arcs when I saw it for the first time. I was like, wait, what am I watching? And I love when Clone Wars does that. But one of my favorite tropes in media is I'm trying to think of a good example, but where they'll have the jock or the city business guy who's high up in whatever he does, but then he has to go to they have the High School Musical type shit where it's oh, now you have to sing and your skills don't translate here. Oh, you sit the city boy has to go on the farm. They're you might be, top shit on Wall Street, but that don't mean nothing here.
Right.
Seeing Mace Windu have to be Jar Jar. Oh, he's my little helper. I just was eating it up. I was yes, let's see, powerful ass Mace Windu have to buddy cop with Jar Jar of all people. I also appreciated that Jar Jar gets through on idiot plot only, which again, I don't mind at all. But Jar Jar was the only person, presumably in the galaxy, that could have diffused the situation. I was okay, he deserved his moment, 100% deserved his moment in the sun. But also,
can I just say though, can you imagine if Mace Windu didn't come though, and it was just Jar Jar versus Mother Talzin at the end? Though?
Oh my god! Oh my god! I think he could have idiot plotted his way out of that because she's so powerful and stuff. There would have been some okie doke that he slips in there where he's oopsie, and she falls off the cliff or whatever.
I don't want to see him getting the festering boils like Dooku had on poor little Jar Jar.
No.
Yeah, she just dips him in the boiling pot.
Oh my god!
A hair from Jar Jar, with that. What? I don't know.
He's the necessary piece. But also, I think the last thing that I love so much, and it's the fact that in the course of 2 episodes, um, Jar Jar Binks manages to do what Anakin couldn't do in like 13 years, which is gain the respect of Mace Windu. And I just found it to be so hilarious. By the end, he's like, no, the Jedi and the Gungan. You know what? You're right. You'll always be my brother. And it's like Anakin can't do nothing. He can't do nothing. But here's Jar Jar in 2 episodes. He's like, you know what? You're all right. And it's just so silly and absurd. And that's honestly one of my favorite parts of Star Wars is when they just get silly with it. And there was a meme like years ago about these episodes where it was like, all right, Dave Filoni, like, don't do it. And it was like Dave Filoni with nothing left to lose, Jar Jar canonically, like whatever. And I was like, yes, like incredible. So it's mostly just for the laughs of it all, but it's only for the laughs of it all. What am I saying?
Well, there is a very like interesting premise built into it. Like, I guess for the purposes of getting Jar Jar a central role in the plot, but like the idea that all those people hate the Jedi because they consider them like kidnappers, I thought was like kind of a dark undertone to the very goofy plot. And I was like thinking about the Jedi. I'm like a little bit on these people's side. Like, I think there's maybe a good reason that they are saying that, you know?
It's like they're kidnappers. Yeah, you're not wrong. Like, you're not wrong. And
they do like to isolate children and cut off all their relationships and ties.
Definitely dark undertones to these people's issues with the Jedi in general. And then just their... I was very curious about their culture to begin with, because by the end we do get the thing of like, oh, okay, so it's Mother Talzin behind it, and that's why they're doing this and everything. But for a while, I was like, why do they want to like overthrow the government? Like, who is this cult, and what are these people in general? And also, like, when did Jar Jar have a relationship with this woman before this? And
many years, he said. He was like, "Yep, I've known the Queenie for many years." So.
Hey. I guess
they get on those hollow calls after the Senate meetings, and he's like, Julia, where you at?
Yeah. For real, though. I guess there was a lot of time between Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones that we don't know what Jar Jar's getting up to in that time. So
true. And what the hell does he do all day, really? What's he getting up to?
Can you imagine he has like a whole second family that nobody knows about, and he goes and visits them like twice a year? He's like, look, I'm an important person in the Senate, but your daddy loves you, son. Like, he just has a whole separate like domestic life somewhere else.
God, sad. He only comes on Life Day. Terrible.
Oh man. Well, the other episodes that come before this, I guess we can talk in depth about those ones first. These are the 3 the Rush Clovis episodes. You know, we got An Old Friend and the Rise of Clovis and Crisis at the Heart. Crisis at the Heart. That's interesting that it's not Crisis of the Heart, but that's what it's called. Yeah, what did you guys think about these Clovis ones in general? What's your Clovis opinion? I don't know if we've talked about Rush Clovis too much at all, Chelsea.
Oh my gosh. I get asked on TikTok when I do lives, like, who's the character you hate most? It's always Rush Clovis for me. Like, I cannot stand him. So admittedly, I hadn't really rewatched these episodes a whole lot. So I was like, okay, Scipio, Rush Clovis, Anakin crash out. Like, I was remembering the major kind of beats of it. But I have to say, like, as I was actually like locking in and taking notes, these episodes are fairly chilling. Like, the plot with like the whole banking clan of it, that's a whole, you got to turn your brain off a little bit with certain things in Star Wars. Money is definitely one of them, where it's like, here is Star Wars Bank. Like, that was all very like convoluted and like kind of ridiculous. But to me, that wasn't even like the main thing the episodes were, that was the backdrop. Do you know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
when they're talking about, oh, this is the neutral zone, this is this, I'm like, what are we talking about here? But the Rush Clovis and Anakin of it all, as well as I actually have a lot to say about these episodes, and I didn't expect that because I was like, fuck Rush Clovis. But by the end of it, I was like, okay, this was actually a lot, and it was kind of like a nice callback to what, season 2 or 3, whatever, when we have the Padme and Rush Clovis of it all. It did a lot to call that back, and I think it painted quite a picture of Anakin. Like, I always look at Rush Clovis, I'm like, oh, what a creep, and like, oh, boo-hoo, you got adopted into the richest organization in the galaxy, and the girl you like didn't like you back. Like, go cry about it. You're annoying and creepy. But when you actually put Clovis versus Anakin in these episodes, I was disturbed by Anakin's behavior.
Yeah.
Like, disturbing. And also the Palpatine of it all. He was slick in this one. He was real slick, and it does another good job of comparing Padme and Anakin as far as like public versus private. So Palpatine, when I know I'm going to skip ahead, but
No.
you'll get what I'm saying. When he like endorses Clovis, and Anakin just cannot understand this. He's like, are you kidding me? And Palpatine's like, look, just because I publicly endorse him, that is not necessarily indicative of how I feel privately. Anakin cannot understand that as a concept because he's just going to say whatever he thinks, whatever. And you have Padme, who, like, through her whole life has lived a double life as far as, like, her residency as the queen and a senator and all this stuff. Padme understands, like, the double life of it all, in a political sense. But when it comes to their relationship, it really kind of came to a head. And I thought it was so interesting because Anakin's just, subtle as a gun with everything. And Padme's over here like, dude, like, Anakin has no clue what's going on, basically. And yeah.
I totally agree with you. And that was absolutely the most interesting part about all of these to me as well. And I also have not watched these in a long time. These are not episodes that I like go back to and rewatch because I kind of think of them as like, oh yeah, like that banking stuff. And there's no like memorable like action in them or anything. And I kind of forgot how in depth it gets on Padme and Anakin's relationship. And like in a way that the show does not touch upon most of the time, or like most Star Wars stuff in general does not touch upon. And I wish they would have even gone further with it than they did, but I'm happy with what we got. Like, and it's so cool, like putting this as our main kind of, I mean, we've had other episodes where their relationship is explored a little bit, but not to this extent. And this is kind of like the main point of like, how is their relationship doing between the movies of 2 and 3. And, we get a little bit in episode 3 or in both of them about like, oh, we'll have to be living a lie. And like, oh, but it's worth it if we love each other and blah, blah, blah. But like, that was so making me really think, like you said, about how Anakin's brain is like, well, it doesn't matter that we have to live a lie because like we're in love with each other. Like, so that's way more important. And like, of course, we'll always just do that. And then Padme is like not really able to deal with it anymore. And then Clovis, like it's, and look, I don't want to teeter on the edge of victim blaming or anything like that. But I will say Padme does like to wear her sexiest outfits to deny people's advances on her.
She does.
She literally wore like the same like Attack of the Clones push-up black dress that like real squeezes her boobs together and everything for like it in the private room with Clovis, like inviting him over for dinner and stuff. And look, like
right after the opera.
Yes. And bro,
and you know how tantalizing those stories that they tell in operas are.
Well, they're big swirling spheres and light shows on Coruscant. Maybe they ran into Chairman Papanoida there. But if you're Clovis, I'm not saying he's thinking that he's like gonna smash or anything, but he probably is thinking that this is like signs of romantic interest, especially like he knows that she and Anakin have like some kind of relationship, but in his mind, she is a single woman and they are going on a date and then going back to their place together. And she's, so I'm not saying that he's right to then like, try and kiss her after she's saying like, whoa, let's like just be friends and stuff. Like, of course he crosses the line and everything, but like up until that point, you can kind of see like where he's coming from about like all the signs are kind of pointing to like, oh yeah, maybe she is like interested in me and stuff. So that was like a fascinating aspect of it too, of like Padme, like why you play these games with people, bro?
It's her friend zone bustier, okay?
Yeah.
Everyone's got one. You don't have one? Like, come on now.
I don't.
I thought to a small degree Padme was trying to like leverage that past relationship for like their political purposes and uses, but like Clovis is just like, it didn't compute to him. It just like completely
because he's
read
like
to him
completely in love with her. So
yeah. I completely agree though that the episodes are like, they really get you thinking about Anakin and Padme and that relationship. And man, it's like a little Gordian's knot they've created here, because I don't even know if I have like the right answer from what the episode was trying to get across, because it like, even in its finality, it gets so complicated, because I know we're jumping way to the end, but like Clovis dying and that sort of being the resolution to their issues with this problem is crazy. It's like a little like, oh my god, someone just died in front of us moment. Everything's okay, as like they're both like wide-eyed and terrified at what just happened. Like really dark stuff, and like just a lot of like Anakin's past as like a slave started coming to mind here too, and like the possessiveness of which he like approaches Padme to some degree, because I don't even think he's like entirely wrong in like getting Clovis off of Padme. It's just like, don't force choke the dude and like throw him off,
smash
like that
him into the wall and stuff. Like, yeah. I get it being mad at Clovis too. Like if you walked in and somebody's like trying to make out with your wife, like, yeah, you'd be pissed off, but like he definitely goes way too far. And that's when I texted Ryan that this was the hardest I've ever laughed at watching the Clone Wars episode, was Anakin walking in on Clovis, like holding Padme like that, and immediately just being like, Clovis.
No, off rips. No lead up, just let's go 10 out of 10. And, I've seen a lot of like edits of that fight and stuff, like, oh, walk him down, whatever. But again, surprisingly, because I was like really trying to pay attention, it was really freaky just because of Padme's react. Like I was scared for Padme. And as like, if you can imagine being her, regardless of the stuff between Clovis and Anakin, he was about to just straight up murder that guy. And the fact that like that you can have the ability to just turn off as a person and like, nope, murderous rage in front of my wife. And she's like, it's kind of not actually funny, but she's like, Anakin, stop. Like it's a bad dog that she's trying to beat down, but it actually really is freaky. And like when later on, when she's talking to him about it, it was very, again, I didn't expect to have like an emotional reaction to any of these episodes, but when she's like, I don't feel safe. It was a really important point, because like if you fast forward to episode 3, you've talked about before the video gamification of like force powers and stuff. And when he force chokes her in Revenge of the Sith, I think it's probably a good thing that it was a force choke and not like just him throttling her with his hands. But like, that's what he's doing. He's literally domestic violence husband. And I think that gets lost on people sometimes, because it is so like, operatic and like, oh, they're star-crossed lovers and like
And
this
it's
and that.
still
And I
like
get
magic
that.
powers that he's using and stuff.
But at the end of the day, like Anakin is a shitty husband. This is before Darth Plagueis lore. This is before the nightmares. He looked at her and said, "You don't have a choice in this." And I have to think that if you carry this out, let's say that episode 3, the events didn't unfold like that, like there wasn't this huge domestic crisis, he is scary. Like he is a scary guy. Like if you knew this guy in real life, this guy in real life, the guy who's like, where'd you take my truck? I checked the mileage. You're with somebody else. Like that scary guy. And I just didn't really expect to go, whoa, at like, abuse and domestic violence follows a format. And like you just bringing up then Clovis dies, it's all fine. That is the format of it doesn't get resolved. So then when he got mad, what did he do? First thing he did was bring up all of that shit from season 2 at Padme. It was at Padme. And at the end of that, she's like, oh, I should have never made you doubt me. And he's like, no, it's fine. It gives me chills because it's sad. That creepy.
It's really sad.
It's like, oh no, I was wrong. You were in the wrong back then. And he said it was fine. But we could go into all that. But then as soon as you get mad, you're going to kill this man. Tell her she don't have a choice in the matter. I am your husband, and look at what you did before. But then he dies, and oh, I'm sorry, because this big thing has happened. Now you're, trauma bonding, taking this comfort in one another. They don't ever deal with their issues. Padme talks about it in episode 3. How long is it going to take for us to be honest with each other? And like, yes, it's a big galactic, space opera fantasy, and it's big background stakes and stuff, but when you look at the two of them, you've met these two before, and it's not going to end well. And these episodes did such a good job of being like, hey, these two are not to be romanticized, and this actually doesn't have a whole lot to do at this point with, oh, well, she's going to die, and all these people love to make excuses for I love Anakin. We all loved Anakin. He broke all our hearts. I get that, but like what I'm looking at right here is a guy in a truck going to find his lady at the Circle K and accost her in front of everyone and do God knows what in private. And it's like, it was very chilling and unexpected because I didn't really remember that aspect of it.
I 1,000% agree with you. Like really scary, a really, at least for Clone Wars, a surprisingly mature and nuanced look at this type of yucky relationship that you're absolutely right exists in real life many times over. And even outside of a relationship, it's just like Anakin, and she says it too in that next conversation, like he has a switch that flips in him that like anytime somebody that he like cares about, and he does care about people, even if it's like an unhealthy way of caring about them, like he just like becomes someone else who like is like like you said, like a wild dog. And I mean, that's how they refer to Darth Vader in the very first movie of like, keep your Tarkin's dog on his leash or whatever. It's like, and they do such a good job of making me think about all this stuff about like Anakin is still just like a little boy. Like he is never matured. And the scene where Obi-Wan comes into his room and he's fucking playing with toys and stuff. I'm like, dude, you are still just like a 9-year-old, bro. Like you are a little kid and you never had the chance to mature like naturally because you had a horrible childhood and then you got whisked away into like this world of adventure and you never like sat with or processed any of your like traumas or anything. And like, God, it's just like crazy, like that they would have these little subtle things. Like, I don't know, just him like playing with a toy. I get that it's like, yeah, that's like what Luke did in the first movie, but also like Luke also has like this aspect of Arrested Development. It just manifests in a less violent way, I guess.
Yeah. His was like lack of exposure, I feel. Like he's just off. He's just a little farm boy. We live a simple life, whatever. Anakin, his whole life has been exceptional. Not to say it was good, but everything about his life has been very extreme. And it is sad. Like, it is very sad to watch, but I just found myself, God, like my heart just being like, Padme, run. Like, baby, you're not safe. You're not safe. Like, because it would be one thing too if he just did the Clovis, beat him within an inch of his life. Padme's horrified at this and feels scared, but he turns it on her. He totally turns it on her. And I think that was a really nice addition that they put in there. And like you said, like, I'm surprised they did, because that is a subtle, like, hey, if he's gonna do this to someone else on your behalf, please don't be surprised when you piss him off and he kills you and your unborn children in his mind. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just really dark. It was really dark, and I did not remember that aspect of it. But I think they did a good job with it, that's for sure.
Yeah, it just makes me feel, I just feel bad for Anakin at the end of the day. I guess I am an Anakin apologist forever and always. Just like, I really enjoy the character that you can track, like, from his childhood to his adulthood, the progression of all these things, and like his big faults that he just cannot get over. And I totally understand Anakin as a character and his perspective, like why he has so many issues dealing with his issues, because he's the chosen one. He like always wins. He's this respected like war hero Jedi. And I can also totally see why someone like Clovis, like, kind of getting a win, so to speak, with Padme could send him flying in a rage. Like, it's not familiar territory for him either. But yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, I've literally, gotten like the most attractive person in the entire universe, and like she's obsessed with me. In like they're both obsessed with each other, obviously, to in an unhealthy way, but they don't think of it as unhealthy, at least until here. Padme does a little bit, but like, yeah, his ego is just like completely unchecked at this point.
And I mean, just think, he never follows like rules or commands. He always does what he thinks is best and just moves forward with that no matter what. And oftentimes, like, at least now in this period, it still works out because like he succeeds and he's on the side of the good guys. So it like works for their cause and their efforts. But like, that is not a perfect formula. And like with things like this, when it slips into his like personal relationships and things like that, it blows up. And we see it blow up later when it slips into, his political ideations too.
I mean, it's we talked about it a little bit when Padme leaves when Ahsoka leaves the Order, because like he can't understand like why she would leave, because he's like, but I was on your side, like I was with you the whole time, so like isn't that enough for you to stay because like of our relationship? And Ahsoka's like much more mature than Anakin by that point, and is like, dude, I mean, I love you, but it's not about you. It's about my life. Actually, I don't just exist as part of your life. I am my own person.
Anakin, I think it's called like locus of control. I think that's how you say it, but he has a very, very inflated sense of that for good and ill. So he's going to blame himself anytime something goes wrong. Like I can save them. Anakin can't let nothing go. He thinks he can do, like, if you can only pick 2 out of 3 to save, he's like, no, I'm going to save all 3. And it's kind of like, not to reference season 8 of Game of Thrones, because oh my Lord, but when they're talking about Daenerys and they're like, hey, we got to take old Yeller out back. Like, this is not going well. And Tyrion explains to them, hey, like when she killed all the slavers, we said, yes, go. When she did, they list all these great things she's done. So now she thinks, nope, I do know best. And I do have the power to force those outcomes. Anakin, from the jump, we see him as a 9-year-old kid pod racing and winning, which we just think of it as a fun sequence. No, that is a feat. That is a feat. Like, this man has had, not to say he hasn't like messed up or failed before, but his wins are exceptional. They're always going to rely on him to be their Hail Mary and just do some crazy shit. And 9 times out of 10 going to work out for him. And so that is going to keep feeding that like confirmation bias of like, no, like I am the chosen, like, nah, like my way is correct, because if it's been correct all these different times, you can see it's all just playing into it's so sad. Like Clone Wars, especially in the later seasons, you just feel this sense of dread kind of in the background of everything, because we know where this is going. And like, I would say Clone Wars is the best Anakin we see, as far as like actually fleshing out like the hero with no fear and like all this good stuff he does and these things that we love. And it almost just makes it so much worse, because you're like, ah, shit. Like you can see how it's all still feeding this thing that's just going to be horrible. And Palpatine, like, first of all, is this the Tim Curry Palpatine? I'm pretty sure this is Tim Curry's Palpatine, and I love that, because it's like, it pretty much just sounds like Tim Curry. Not mad at it at all, but
no, it's awesome.
He hits him with the
I was saying
my boy.
100%. I love it. Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah, he doesn't really try to like do a style, like too much of a stylized like Palpatine impression. He's just like, no, I'm Tim Curry, and I'm gonna come here and do this, which I love. But he's very much like, kind of, it's doing like another kind of foreshadowing to Revenge of the Sith, I feel, where he keeps being like, my boy. Like he takes this very paternal role, and it's like very overt, and he's like, you're the one that I'm going to send on this mission. You're the one. Like he's purposely placing him in these tumultuous situations. And again, the removal of Anakin from Obi-Wan, I think, is a huge key to his fall to the dark side. So the more that we have things, regardless of like Padme and him freaking out, when you take Anakin away from Obi-Wan, Palpatine's always going to kind of like fuel that, I feel, to try to separate them more and keep boosting that ego. But hey, now your wife's with some other guy. You can fix this. You're the only one, whatever. And I did find it so endearing when Obi-Wan came to talk to him, and he's like, hey, you've seen Satine? Like, you know, I got a baddie I fell in love with. And people love Obi-Wan's my favorite character of all time. So I understand that I am very biased to be very sympathetic towards him. But his character is so beautiful because, one, it is one of failure, right? Like Obi-Wan tries his best and is always going to be 5 minutes too late. Like, that's just what it is. But people will say, like, oh, he's so, like, legalistic and dogmatic like all these other Jedi. Yes, because he's trying to be, like, a good example in Jedi. But we have a lot of moments throughout the prequels where he's throwing Anakin bones that he didn't have to at all. He did not have to go talk to Anakin and be like, hey, like, I understand having these feelings. Like, he is trying to basically go against what he thinks he's supposed to do as a Jedi many times and throw Anakin these bones of like, I understand that you're having big feelings, son. Like, here's a popsicle. Like, I would say he's like very like, I don't think sweet is the right word, but like he cares about this kid. Like he loves Anakin, and he does not want to see him. He sees the turmoil that other people are not necessarily seeing. He's like, look, like I've been in love too with a baddie. Like and not like, well, and I didn't do that, so you can't. He's being very like sympathetic, like he's empathizing with him and trying to throw him that bone. Anakin, of course, is like, no, of course not. Like, we're just friends. Like he is so not there for it, but I did find that moment very endearing because I think it's little subtleties like that I love between Anakin and Obi-Wan. In Attack of the Clones, not to just, I'm veering so off topic, but in the very beginning of Attack of the Clones, when he's just like, I haven't seen her in 10 years, like he's freaking out, and Obi-Wan kind of gives him this look and this little smile like, oh, my boy. And then later when he's like, she hardly even recognized me, this and that. And he's like, hey, like this and that. And she was pleased to see us. Like he can't see Anakin really be sad. He's like, hey, no, she was happy to see you, bud. Like he can't help himself.
I love that part so much.
So sorry for the Obi-Wan. Yeah.
No.
Beautiful.
I think of everyone, you know, I mean, it's very clear Obi-Wan and Ahsoka know Anakin the most. And I think they see through like the veneer that maybe a lot of other people see him with, and maybe some of the other Jedis even see him with, and know that like he is a little sometimes on the fence of like, you're about to like fall towards a dark path. And I think like part of the reason like Obi-Wan's story is so tragic and sad too is because I think Obi-Wan does really know that, and he's doing everything he possibly can to try and keep Anakin away from that, because he knows like at his best Anakin is great and he has like a really solid heart and he's got kindness within him, and he wants to help and he just wants to take on all that responsibility, but he also has a lot of complicated dark emotions from his, traumatic childhood. His, I think I was talking to Jackson about this the other day, but like he came into the Jedi Order from slavery. Like this dude had nothing. The Jedi don't really have anything. They just have like ideology and ideas and like their little Jedi culture and whatnot. And then they go be peacekeepers or enforcers or whatever. So I don't know. To me, like it really makes sense that like people are Anakin's biggest weakness in a sense.
Well, he's never not had a prescribed lifestyle for him. So like, I'm not going to say that being a Jedi is worse than being a slave by any means. However, like you don't have personal freedom. You don't have a house and things and hobby. You are told where to go, what to do. And at the end of the day, they're forced to be war generals overnight. Like overnight. It's not like some idealistic monastic life that the Jedi had like previously been kind of known for. It's you've been a slave, cool, great, bet, go to war.
Yeah,
now and you can't fall in love. Invasions. You can't. Yeah. It's sad.
What's crazy to me is that, and I guess realistically, maybe they want to focus on the immediate, but I feel like I never have heard the Jedi in all of these episodes like talk about after the war. Like once we succeed and like win this war, like what happens then? And I know the Jedi existed before the Clone Wars and they were doing stuff outside of war, probably just doing normal peacekeeping missions and whatnot. But I would just be interested in like, because they've like, not maybe the right word, but like it seems like with the war, the Jedi have like very corporatized themselves and have like attached themselves to the Republic in like a very kind of gross way, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. I'm trying to think about what else even. Yeah, because the other stuff in this episode, like we said, kind of background. Dooku's there doing his thing, but like,
wait, can I ask a question about this plot?
Yeah, sure. I don't know if I'll be able
Please
to
do.
answer it.
Okay, so I will say if I take a step back and don't look at the details of it, this is another like little plot that makes me think like, oh my god, it's like it gives me such a defeatist vibe, because it's like really the Republic was. We were talking about this in our last episode with like the brain chips, but it's like the Republic was so screwed from the beginning, and there was like the whole war and their efforts seem so futile when you watch episodes like this, where it's just like, yeah, the Separatists actually own everything already, and you're just playing a little like game with them. But okay, so Dooku's threat to the banks is basically just the leverage he has is we will not pay the interest on our loans. But can't the Republic just do that? Like, why is that such a big power that they have? Like, couldn't the Republic not pay their loans and that'd be the same thing? Like, seems like they would have equal...
Well, the Republic is good guys. The Republic are good
so
guys.
They always
pay their debts. The Separatists bad. They make horrible threats. No, my first note on this episode just says, what the fuck is up with the Republic and the banking clan? That is my first takeaway.
Yeah, like, makes no sense.
What?
The banking clan agrees. I don't know what. I guess it is interesting in theory for there to be like this neutral source of money that is like a galactic base currency that both sides of the war are being at least using this bank for their loans and things like that. I mean, that is interesting, but
they're very okay with war profiteering in the Senate. Okay, like they do not care. I don't think, and they covered this back in season 2, I think, with the when Palpatine bombs Coruscant and pulls the inside job so that he can get more funds. This, I feel like, is the continuation of that arc. It's the finishing of it, because I will say,
Yeah.
although it's like the weirdest, makes no sense, we're talking about business loans and freezing accounts and embezzling. Like, why are we doing this? At the end of the day, it culminates to Palpatine being in charge of the fucking banks and being, it was creepy when he was like, long live the banks, and everyone's like, yeah. I was like, oh my god, old man Potter needs to get out of here. Like, this is, where's the Bailey brothers building and loans right now, because something bad just happened. But it's a complete consolidation of power, as far as like, obviously he's consolidating power the whole fucking time, but at this point now dude controls Galactic Bank of America. So like that, I feel like, was the important takeaway from it as far as the banking of it goes. But like how the twists and turns that plot took made about no sense to me. I will say the R.I.P. Tekla, but the animation when they took off the power grid, she sets the detonator and it all goes black. That was really cool. And we get Embo in these episodes, which cannot be. Bro. We get Embo.
I forgot about Embo, like snowboarding on his hat. That was awesome. That was awesome.
Love that. It made me think of like old Mortal Kombat. I think it's Shang Tsung. He can take off his hat and go shing 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 shing, and like
that's exactly
one of the
what
fatalities. I love a multi-function weapon / vehicle hat. Like, I'm here for that.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to think of more characters like that. Even I was like, okay, there's those two guys with the really sharp hats. Who else is there out there?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's Shang Tsung.
Well, I mean, if you know, I won't claim to know the character names, but there's many a martial arts movie from Hong Kong where guys have blades hidden in their hats, or like the hat becomes a blade, or there's a whole series of movies called about the man with the flying guillotine hat, and it's just a hat on a chain that he throws around to cut people's heads off and then put back on his head.
That's cool.
So I love that stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, also Thorne was here, and Thorne looked really cool. For the Republic.
Oh yes. Yeah, oh man, and rest in peace as well. That was sad on that little landing platform when he just got gunned down. And it's, I mean, and you're talking about the dread and the inevitability of it all, and the thing of like, oh, the separatists are in charge the whole time. I mean, we've talked about this before, but like just it's so depressing for the clones, like this absolutely pointless fighting that they're doing, and like the ones that are like, no, I believe in the cause, and it's like, you guys are just like, it's not your fault, but you're so naive and so like unaware of what's going on.
They grew up with all that. That's why.
Oh, I know.
That's all they've known.
I don't.
It's actually really impressive for any clone to like stray away from those thoughts. Like those are the anomalous clones.
Yeah, Cut LaQuaine, goated.
Cut LaQuaine mentioned, we love our king.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the Sexy Twi'lek watch.
He's the one with the Twi'lek family and
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. It was sad just to get like this cutaway to a clone dying like in a dramatic fashion in this episode. It's like, oh man, we didn't need that.
He had his like mini gun on the hip. They had bazookas. They really pulled out all the stops just for them all to get completely wiped out. Like
the droids too are also like, man, there is a hollow like scariness to them. Like the way they kind of just like stop operating the second they drop him is really like, I don't know, it's like unsettling to me.
Yeah,
like,
they're all just standing in a circle around him afterwards.
Yeah.
Man, I just saw a video of like it's like kid gets kicked in the stomach by a robot at like a martial arts demonstration or something. You see that? Yeah. Oh, it's coming. It's starting.
It is a brave new world.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that.
Weren't allowed to do that. I thought that was programmed in them. You can't harm people.
There was a couple like in front of me like talking about that video. when I was like on a walk the other day. Then I went to go watch it after eavesdropping them. So that's how I saw it.
Nice.
Amazing.
Anything else about these three, or should we move on?
I will just point out very quickly from what Chelsea was saying about Palpatine, the moment where he like is like all buddy buddy, nice guy with Anakin, saying like, I think you should handle this one, is a really cool shot too, because you then see Palpatine, just slink off into the shadows of that scene. He literally walks off into the shadows with his like little devilish Palpatine smile, and it's just really nice. And I also think the moment when he's explaining to Anakin about Clovis, I think there's a double sort of purpose there too. I think like as Palpatine saying like, as what I put out to the public isn't truly what I always think. I think he's like grooming Anakin a little bit more there, being like, but I'll tell you, of course, like my true thoughts, obviously, because we're like this, Anakin. We're like this.
He's setting him up to like be more okay with the big reveal later. Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool that they would like show us that. I mean, that's if there's gonna be content in between the movies, like that's what we want to see. That's what we want to see. It's awesome. And also, I'm not in any rush to move on to the next episodes or anything. It's just if we didn't have anything else to say.
I think those were the end of my notes on that. I will just say, like I said, I was just very surprised by everything that happened in these episodes. I was like, wait a second. Like there is some real important shit that they slipped in under the guise of another banking regulation episode. Like, Dave Filoni, you did it again. Like,
yeah, they're scary.
No, they were good. Yeah.
Oh, I also thought it was really funny. Like, when Padme and Clovis are like planning their little heist that she's gonna do, and they have like the hologram of her like sliding along the hallways, and then when it really happens, it's just like the Mun guy is like, yes, the Republic's credits are over here. I mean, it's just really funny thinking about like this is like a big data farm of like computer servers. What do you mean it's like over here but not over there? Like that's the Star Wars technology is funny because it's like there's no like internet, but there is like peer-to-peer connect, like one-way connections between things all the time.
It's all hard drives or something.
Yeah.
I find it so endearing, honestly, because obviously George Lucas was probably not thinking about an animated show in the 2010s, all that stuff. So like he made the movies with the technology he had available, which is all going to be model kits, and we need to be able to show point A to point B. Here's a jump drive of the plans to the Death Star. Like it makes sense in the context of like in real life when the movies were made. But I do find it very endearing that we're still doing that, where it's like we have hyperspeed, we have like all these things that are crazy technology, but plans to the Death Star, we have to put them on a disc. Oh, these credits, yes, we have all the credits electronically stored, but you have to like going to the bank boxes, like going to the little lock boxes at a bank. It's like that, but it's nope, they're on a floppy disk here, but they are over here. You have to physically get this, and I just think it's cute, honestly.
Well, I agree, and it's also way better for visual storytelling too. Like rather than just being like, and we're on the computer. Like I fucking hate that about stuff now when it's like you should not be allowed to show a text conversation in a movie unless it's literally like Eddington or something that is like a real like examination of like our relationship with social media and whatever, and that's the point of it. Like, but if it's some stories, just some random story, I do not want to see people texting. I do not want to see things going viral. Like the fact that is like just not a part of this universe at all is so comforting to me.
Yeah,
God, kind of a disconnected thought, but you've like put the image in my mind that I've seen so many times in so many movies of like them going viral, and it just cuts to like the YouTube layout with like the view count just like going up, and it's like so blurry because it's rising so fast.
I mean,
so silly.
One of my least favorite things, like you should not be allowed to do that. in a movie, but whatever.
Yeah, any text message could be a holo call in any movie, and it'd be better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even in like, and I don't think it's too much of a spoiler, but like in Rebels, like you have hologram calls, obviously everywhere, but like the technology, it's like a radio frequency. Like they can't just send. They're not going to put the holo whatever on everyone's little data pad. You have to like tune into a frequency to like hear this message or see it. And I just think it really, it's one of those things that makes Star Wars for me feel much more like real than like other things where the technology is just like so much more advanced. I'm like, no, this is radio technology they're using. Yes, they have like a visual hologram, but like, hey, you gotta, our comms are jammed. Like they're jamming our radio signal. We gotta hop over to another signal, and they like hotwire stuff all the time. And like, it has such a like analog feel to it, even though it's all like crazy, you know, out of our scope technology. It makes it feel so much more realistic to me.
100%.
But yeah.
And I mean, it's a, at the end of the day, yes, there's books and all this other stuff, but like it's a movie. Like it's visual storytelling, and when you're telling a visual story, we need like things that we can interact with and things to touch, and like so. Yeah, I totally agree. It's just like way better for that, and I'm glad that they kind of stick with that forever.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's all I got on those episodes.
All right, well, let's. Whoa!
Oh, wait, one last thing. Just, I do think it's very funny, like for them to go back to Clovis taking Padme as a hostage, like right at the end of that episode.
Yeah,
just adds another layer of like, okay, like what is going on here?
Still, he's willing to put a gun to her head after all that, bro.
And I like how she's just like, Clovis, let me go. Like
she's over it. She's just annoyed at this point. She's like, I got these two psychopaths. Like, you know what? I'm about to go find my handmaiden and get the fuck back to Naboo because I'm done with this. Like, she's just over it at that point.
She's probably like, I'm not going to feel that safe or comfortable either way with either of these people at this moment. So just like, come on, stop.
But these are the people that she wants to get involved with too. At the same time, like, again, I know it's a slippery slope to victim blame or be like the someone who's on the receiving end of an abusive relationship, but and I'm not even trying to do that at all, but I guess it could be twisted in that way. But I'm just saying, like, the kinds of people that she's attracted to are these crazy guys. Like,
yeah.
So,
and like in the books, like the Padme trilogy, it does shed a lot of light on that, and not so much in like the romantic relationship aspect necessarily, but Padme surrounds herself with danger. Padme but Padme, how many times has Padme had to pull out a blaster and take care of shit? Like she might be this senator and be like, no, I'm a senator. Padme likes to get down. Padme wants to be part of it. She's like, no, I'll find a diplomatic solution. If not, I'll shoot somebody. Like, she's not just this like wallflower, like Anakin, no, like she's rowdy, like for sure. And I think that's reflective in, yes, her romantic relationships, but also just the fact that, like, how many times has this woman been attempted, someone's tried to assassinate her, and she's handled it. Like, she has handled it pretty much every time. And it's like, okay, I see you, Miss Amidala. Like, you are definitely Leia's mom as well, because people will draw the connection of like Luke is Padme very much so, and Leia is much more Anakin. I would disagree. It's not like she was some shrinking violet. Like, she was getting it done, like, from the jump. So, which I like about her. I think that's good.
Yeah.
So many of these episodes are like, there's going to be an assassination attempt on Padme. So that is certainly true. And they just slide right off her. So I get her feeling confident.
It's been happening since she was fucking 13 years old, though. She's used to it. The handmaiden, that's what they're there for. They can kind of drop like flies, and I don't really care about them too much.
Yeah. Kind of like the Jedi using the clones as proverbial human shields in a sense.
Whoa, that's cool.
No, the handmaidens, I know way too much handmaid lore. Though those are commandos right there. Like, their lore goes crazy. They have like, it's like each of them is like it kind of makes me think of like Kill Bill, Oren Ishii, I think, the Yakuza lady, and she's got all her crazy 88. Though that's what Padme's handmaidens actually are, and they're just like, hi, we're just these nameless. No, like they are scary in a good way, and yeah.
Is that explored like in a book somewhere, or is it? Do we see that?
The Padme trilogy. The Padme trilogy's
gotcha.
got it all, baby. They are.
And also the 2020 Darth Vader comic run that Greg Pak writes.
I'd love to see Vader like run into them and interact with them post
Yeah.
I mean, maybe
That's
he does.
Crazy.
Yeah, he might. He might. I mean, like, why would the Star Wars Unlimited have a leader of Sabe? Like, that's like, why would that? That's not like a recent character or anything. That
Yeah, you know what, man? I did think that was random as hell, but
yeah. Well. So let's continue on. We've got the
Jar Jar
disappeared
Mace time.
The Disappeared Part 1 and 2. These are yeah. I mean, we've already talked about it a little bit, but essentially these leaders of what are they called? The people?
Bardatans,
yeah.
something like that.
Queen Julia. It was so funny that her name's Julia, and then the other guy, when they're like in the cages in the Temple of Doom situation, and Jar Jar's like talking to one of them, he's like, "My name's Jonathan." Your name's Jonathan?
What?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I didn't even catch that. It just went over my head. That's really funny.
really, really strange. Julia and Jonathan. But these guys are kind of like a blend of like Nepal, India, Bangladesh type of aesthetics, voices, stuff. And I'm forgetting the name of the voice actor who does the opening narrations and also is like Yularen and does a bunch of voices in the show.
He just passed.
I know, I saw that. But he's also doing one of the cultists, like with the big mask on, and hearing him like doing like an Indian accent was it was pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie, but
yeah, another weird like little like cultural like tack this culture onto these alien races, just map it kind of as close as we can, and throw a bunch of random other like tribal shit in there, and we got like a little alien race. But I every time I'm like, man, is that the way to do this? I don't think there's got to be better ways to go.
The original trilogy at least hit it better. I mean, it's still based on real cultures, but it's like a few more steps removed that you can't identify it as quickly, and it makes it feel more actually alien. And this one, when they're like outside of the mountain and there's like that walkway with the straight up like Tory gates over it with like the flags hanging down and stuff, I'm like, this is just like what you would see in the line for like Expedition Everest at Disney World. Like it is a little too earthy. But also, I guess, you know, we saw Fives getting in his New York taxi on Coruscant. So there's
Do you remember the
stuff.
Scottish lemurs they had? I think they were just like Scottish. I'm just like, what? You know.
See, they always do this.
But
it's so random.
They really do.
But and it's so distracting. But like, we know those cultures. So you're immediately like, okay, that's what you're doing. So am I supposed to like be seeing it as that to some degree, or it just takes me out of it?
For real. Even Dexter's Diner with the 50s like waitress droid. How you doing, honey? Can I get your pancakes and stuff? Like, oh, okay.
But that's cool.
Also, why is there one battle droid that has like a Boston accent in Phantom Menace? He's like, my underwater villages. Like, he has like, it's like, wait a second.
The
like,
underwater village is on a butt.
Oh my gosh.
It's like where your droid hangs out and pick up an accent.
Right. That would make sense.
Yeah,
Totally
C3PO's
random, but in the beginning of this episode, it cracked me up when Tim Curry Palpatine is in the Senate and Queen Julia sends the little call or whatever, and he's like, "Oh yes, we are always so happy to help a neutral system." And I'm like, since when? There has been so many arcs where they're like, "Sorry, we can't do anything. You guys are neutral," and now all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, but of course, don't you know?" I'm like, we are just like actively rewriting history, like, which I think they do on purpose just to show
Yeah.
that like everything's made up and the points don't matter. But it did make me stop and go, Tim Curry, what are you saying right now? Like, we are always not just like, yes, we'll do this now. We've learned from our, it's like, no, we are always. Don't you know the Republic is just so known for like helping neutral systems and not making them like sign a capitulation and join the Republic, or we just let people die because sorry, there's nothing we can do about it. Like, we've had full arcs that's
the whole
the
basis
problem.
of Mandalore and stuff was
Yes.
Maybe the timeline doesn't match up, but you know, the second I'm Palpatine and I get control of those banks, I don't care anymore. Sure, I'll send out some support to some neutral systems, try and get them on my side. Money means nothing to me. I can Scrooge McDuck with my credits at my home. Like, come on. Easy.
True.
And I think, I'm sure it is intentional, but it's just like how fickle the Senate chamber is, and like the amount that they as a mass like unit will flip their opinions on things just like completely arbitrarily, which I feel like is pretty realistic to real life politics of like, oh, well, today they're saying this and I vehemently disagree with them above everything. And then the next day it's like, oh, actually, that was a good point because like some money came my way and now my opinion has changed about it. But yeah, so these the Bardottan officials are getting kidnapped or disappeared, and she only wants Jar Jar to come. But for some reason, Mace Windu's like, no, I'm also coming. And then when they're there,
they're like, no Jedi.
And then when they get there, they're like, hey, dude, we said no Jedi. And he's like,
and
I'm here.
Also, no Jedi, but if they're going to send one, let's send Mace Windu. Like Obi-Wan, who's very charming, is like, hey, we're not here to start. No, let's send Mace Windu to go to a place where they are so anti-Jedi. Like,
the most like sociopathic.
Yes.
I also like how like Obi-Wan, Mace Windu doesn't really volunteer. He just like kind of says Jar Jar can't handle it by himself. And then Obi-Wan is like, are you volunteering then? And he's like, yeah, I guess I am. It's like, were you?
I know. It's like, I know you guys wanted to have these two characters together, and like, let's just kind of let's get to that. Like,
oh, sure. But you know what, Mace and Jar Jar, as far as like duos work, pretty funny actually. I think that's a pairing that was making me laugh here and there. Maybe I'm a sucker for falling for some Jar Jar jokes again, but he's silly, man. He's a little silly.
You'd be in good company with me because there is a part that actually makes me laugh out loud. It's when they're on the ship. They've like gone to the planet. They're like, oh, they're disappearing. They're taking their force energy, whatever. And I don't know. It's hard to remember which part of the episodes they're in, but he's like, Jar Jar, tell me what happened. And he's like, they sacrificed one of the cultists. They took the force and they blah, 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 and they put it in a shiny ball. And he's being 100% serious, and he sounds insane, but that is literally bar for bar what happened.
Yeah,
but like you're hearing Jar Jar explain it, and they harvest it, put it in a big shiny ball, and Mace is just like, but no, like that's dead ass. Nobody else could have described that, but that's literally what happened. But like he sounds deranged, like
and I think like the push and pull of like Mace wanting to be active and like do something in this mystery, and them really not letting him and Jar Jar making those steps forward with the Queen. It's just like super, like the scene where Mace pulls Jar Jar out of his meeting with the Queen right when she's about to tell him like what's going on, and like throws Jar Jar up against a wall and is like, where were you last night? Like, what's been going on? Like, sort of just like getting really irritated with him. And Jar Jar's just like, Misa with the queen, like learning, like I'm learning like all the mysteries and everything. It's just like very funny to me, like to see Mace Windu.
He's like, she was literally about to tell me what was going on. And then Mace Windu, of course, is like, no, love and emotions towards people is can be taken advantage of, and that's bad. And then Jar Jar's like, being in love is the only reason why we're here in the first place.
Right.
That's the only reason.
He's like, okay, virgin, like, let me do what I need to do. Like,
Mace Windu's also just mad and horny and jealous.
No, dead ass.
Jar Jar's not a Jedi. He doesn't have to stick to that.
That part. I found it really weird when Mace is talking to Yoda and he's like, he's been in there. Like, I don't know what the hell they're doing. And Yoda says, the innocence of a child Jar Jar has. Look, if Jar Jar's in the next room hunching the queen, maybe that's not the right time to be like, oh, he's just like a child. Wait a fucking second. Like, why would you say that? It just like struck me so weird. Like, I don't know. I think really weird.
Yoda's like a little racist, maybe.
Probably.
I mean,
I think he said that before too about the clones, like how they're like younger. I'm like, first of all, you're not making the point you think you're making, but second of all, children are entire ass people with rich inner worlds, and like, sure, they don't have like the life experience or perhaps the language or context that like a grown-up would have, but when people are like, oh, they're just like a child, I'm like, well, wait a second, like,
yeah,
what are you implying here? That, oh, this character who we think is just stupid and dumb, they're like a kid. Well, you should think about the words you're saying, perhaps. Like, maybe this is why you fail every time. I don't know. Not to just Yoda hate on Maine. I don't even have strong hatred towards Yoda. It's just like, bro, why did you say that?
He's a frustrating guy, though. He's a frustrating guy.
It's a line I feel like they threw in there because they really wanted to, like, hammer in the sense of, like, oh, this episode's, like, dynamic is, like, Mace Windu having to be the stern parent while, like, Jar Jar's the kid, like, gleefully running around and causing chaos. But, yeah, it doesn't work because, I mean, really, you also take a step back and, like, that, besides it being infantilizing of Jar Jar, who is a goofy character, but, like, also a politician who is, like, kind of respected and making big moves and obviously there
for the like, entire Gungan population. Like, he is the voice of an entire race of people on this planet. But nah, he's just a silly little guy.
Yeah. Y'all had
crazy
him, like,
to
in a meeting with General Grievous. Like, yeah.
Well, that's where Jar Jar should have died, though, if we're being honest.
Yeah. General Grievous. The General Grievous I know would have killed him from across the table, but.
Like if he was in Grievous versus Ventress mode at that time, like if he brought that energy to meeting Jar Jar, like Jar Jar would have been annihilated.
Yeah, and those episodes are pretty close together when the invasion of Dathomir and everything. I do find the dynamic pretty fascinating to I get by the end of the second episode why they're kind of now like they have respect for each other. But at the end of the first one, Mace Windu, I don't remember exactly what he says, but like they're back in the little audience chamber of the Bardatan government doing something and like, yes, and we're gonna go after the queen together. Mace Windu says something there like, okay, you might actually be like a smart guy, or like we're working together now. I'm like, okay, what about what has happened so far changed your mind? I get it after the second part, but after the first part, I that felt like a little out of nowhere.
Yeah, I agree.
I do
like Jar Jar smooching the queen. You love that scene?
I do love that.
She's like, let's get to business and meet. She's like, you need to know what's going on. And I thought it was like, oh, they can do some like telepathic connection through like touch.
They want to make out.
Yeah, she's just kissing him. Cool.
It was really making me think about Jar Jar's eye stalks in a way that I don't normally. Because their
look at a picture of him.
face shapes are kind of similar. The Bardatans and the Gungan, like they've got these big protruding like mouths and beak type head shapes and things. And so I'm like, okay, it kind of makes sense why they would be like attracted to each other or whatever. Like their species look kind of similar. But then when they're like right up next to each other and they're like kissing, I'm like, but there's one big difference. Her eyes are in her head. He's got these nasty little things coming off the top of him, and I just never really like thought of it's like when you say a word too many times and it starts to like lose its meaning. It's like the design of Jar Jar is such like a unit. When you break down the parts of it, it's like, what is going on here?
It's fairly unsettling, but I would argue it's not even the most unsettling Clone Wars kiss, because we do have Sai Snoodles and Zero.
That's true.
And that is really unsettling, truly.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That is the worst one for sure.
Wow. Any others coming up that I need to be forewarned about? Like, are we getting some gross alien cootie kissing going on here? What is happening?
Oh, everybody's still here?
Yes.
Everyone froze for me for a second.
Okay. No.
Are we breaking in and out?
Okay.
Yeah.
It might be good now.
Okay.
It might have just been a little hiccup. I can't think of any other nasty ones, and if I could, I wouldn't tell you. Yeah, this is a very like Indiana Jones plot line that ends up unfolding, and the aesthetics of it are so like Temple of Doom. Even the Indian aspect of it all, like. And then I was thinking about Temple of Doom in the previous stuff as well, where they're sliding on the snow after they like fall out of the ship. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's literally exactly what happens in Temple of Doom too. It must have been on the mind of the creator. I mean, they do little Indiana Jones winks and nods in Clone Wars all the time, but
I feel like this was just like a 1-to-1 though. It wasn't even like it was like literally Temple of Doom. I was like,
no,
okay.
They literally have her up on like the sacrificial chains, like in the exact same position. And it's literally like, yes, we're going to pull your life force out so that we can like be immortal and stuff. Like it's the exact same thing. Yeah.
Oh, does Indiana Jones have magic in it?
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell? I've never thought the series like got into that at all.
It's always like in the background, and then right at the end, it's like, oh, the magical artifact is actually real, and it actually does do magic.
I guess I've seen the Crystal Skull years ago, and vaguely remember it being like an alien's head, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, you don't remember when the Nazi lady like is in their spaceship at the end, and she's like, "There's too much knowledge." Oh.
No, that truly barely remember anything about that movie.
I literally only remember the Temple of Doom. That's the only Indiana Jones I could sit through. I just never liked Indiana Jones that much. Really? But like, I don't know why. It just wasn't. I was like, this is not Han Solo. I don't like it. Like, and okay, when I was a little kid, I had this thing, like James Bond is a good example. Indiana Jones, if someone has a love interest, and then in the next movie, they were with another girl, I would lose it. I'm like, no, you just did blah, 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 blah. So like when there was a different lady in Temple of Doom, I think I was like, no, he's bad as hell. I don't like him. Like I would not call home about this man. Like I was just so offended, but I don't know why. But as a little kid, that always just like pissed me off so bad. But no, it was like directly Temple of Doom. And I was like, of course, the one Indiana Jones I know, it's like bar for bar the same. But it also like another trope I love in shows is like when there's all these specific things that have to happen. And usually it involves the moon or the sun. They're like, when the sun on the third day, there was an eclipse every 100 years. And then you got the evil lens crafter thing there and she's tied up.
So
and then
cool.
Evil orb comes and it's like, oh, once they all touch. And I'm like, at any given point, did it occur to anyone to just knock over the lenses Like, y'all are fighting to get Julia.
True.
How about you destroy the lens crafters over here, and then the moon will pass, we'll be good. But I do love that trope for some reason. And I was like, they threw everything at this one because it is just so absurd already. I feel like this is definitely the place to do it and just throw everything at it because it's just that silly. But these episodes had some really, really sick animation and like atmospheres. Like when they get to the planet where they're gonna like harvest Julia's Damon-ritis or whatever, like it's cool. Like it's really cool looking. And them like riding across the desert, really cool animation. And then like, why is Jar Jar just like, he's just like hollering. He's just like on the thing. And you hear Mace going,
Windu's like, please
Jar Jar,
shut the fuck up.
Jar Jar, like, please. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm just so sad. Okay, we get it, but let's focus. And then Jar Jar just looks at him. He's like, we'll do it together. And just like smiles at him. And it was like, don't make me feel a feeling here. Mace is like, you know what, kid, come here. Like at that moment, the bromance was formed when he's just looking at him with these big eyes, like, right? We're going to do it together.
We're the good guys, right? So we're going to win.
Good guys win. Yeah, it is kind of
like, all right, kiddo, come on. Like,
and Mace Windu's like, yeah, we probably are going to win, actually.
Also, I challenge anyone to go back and watch the scene where they're riding whatever beasts they're on, and just watch when it does like the sort of cutaway at a glance view, Jar Jar's feet as they're slapping against the sides of that animal, because I really laughed out loud. They look crazy. Like they're just like wiggling and moving there. I think they just set like ragdoll feature on their animation model because it looks pretty wild. I did want to just comment real quick about the lens thing that you mentioned. I think it's really, really cool, but also really funny that like I guess a device to extrapolate the force and kind of your soul and put it in a sphere is just like all it takes is a couple like glass layers. You know, it seemed like there was no other tech or anything involved in that. I guess magic because Mother Talisman or whatever, but I was like, that's crazy. Like you can just make that weapon of annihilation with some magnifying glasses. Like what?
They were burning ants outside, and they went, wait a second, I can do something with this. Yeah. Also, what happened to Mother Talisman?
Yeah, did she die?
Well, first, I was wondering about that too, because if before this she is like dead after the Dathomir stuff, but she still like appears to Ventress and things. So I was wondering, like, oh, is this ritual like a way for her to like reclaim her like corporealness or whatever? Like right now she's kind of floating around ethereally and needs like someone else's life force to like become a full person again. And then maybe that's why she just like went off into mist.
Okay. I'm going to take that as correct because that makes sense. She was on her little Voldemort kick of like, I got to get a body back. Because I was like, wait, she just disintegrated and then the episode was over. I was like, wait, what? Like,
and her expression is like one of true despair there. It's honestly a little scary because it's like the last thing that fades away from Vision is her face just like looking a little terrified. Made me like, ugh.
Yeah. And she says, which I guess I didn't really realize, she says, I'm not a natural force user. I need to like have these things that are like harnessers of the, like I need like physical totems to like channel the force through to use like dark magic with. And I'm like, oh yeah, like she always does have like some kind of like ritualistic chamber or voodoo doll or magic cauldron or something. Like that's interesting.
That moment though is just a little bit silly because like Queenie's like, well, the Queen's like, I keep saying Queenie because it's in charge. The Queen is like, it's like, what is going on? Like, why are you doing this? And Mother Talisman's like, it's really too late for you to know. It's like not important that you know this stuff at this point. And then she goes on to say all that. Well, it's like, why did, and she says like, but this is what you should know. I'm not a natural force user, blah, blah, blah. It's like, why? Why should she know that? You're about to rip the force out of her body and like annihilate her living essence. Who cares? But,
true.
You know, I guess for our knowledge.
I just watched The Dark Crystal the other day too. Very similar stuff going on in that movie.
Like some soul snatching type plot.
Yeah. There's like a thing of like a Clockwork Orange style, like, oh, I'm hooked up to this chair, and then this big crystal comes down and like sucks your life energy out of you and stuff. And
The
then there was also a planet convergence thing going through like a focus point in that movie as well.
no. The dude just catching like the stray shot of that and him like his force energy being like expelled into the sphere and shattering
Yes.
was awesome animation. It looks so fucking cool, honestly. I really like that. I'm glad we got to see it in action.
Another very Indiana Jonesy thing too, for like a random side guy to get hit with the full blast of like the bad guy magics, like before it you know hurts
Oh, cool.
our characters.
Yeah.
I also liked when they used pocket sand on her. She's like, unhand me. And he literally just goes, poof, and pocket sands her, and she's out. I was like, dang, like, what is happening here?
True, that's right. Oh yeah. Sleep.
Yeah.
It's like in Midsummer when they're at the dinner table at the end and he's like, what is going on here? And then the guy just claps in his face.
Yeah.
For your vitality. Yeah.
No. Ooh. Yeah, I don't have any more notes on those episodes. Really, it's just the memes of it all and the buddy cop.
They were fun. I enjoyed it. Dude,
I love that you called her Queenie. That's amazing.
Queenie.
I'm gonna start calling him Master and Mace from now on too.
Master and Mace, yeah. Crazy.
Why does he say it like that?
Jar Jar, just say my name. I know you can do it.
Just Master Windu, like that'll work. But I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the way he says that. Oh yeah, a brief Indiana Jones thing. I also like never really had an affinity to it as a kid. But I think now I like them more, even though I don't really have any kind of emotional connection to it. I just find them to be like extremely well made movies, and it's so much like Star Wars, just a different genre, where it's the whole thing of they're like, well, let's take these like pulp serialized stories and give them the like A+ Hollywood big budget treatment, and that's what they do. And it's just, I'm personally more interested in a sci-fi, space and aliens world than I am of like a adventurer treasure hunter kind of thing, like aesthetically. But I don't know. Some of the sequences in Indiana Jones, I'm like, man, I don't care about this character, but the stuff that's happening is pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Throw some John Williams on it. We'll have a good time.
Oh yeah. And they just look beautiful. I mean, Steven Spielberg absolutely snapping with the lighting and everything in all those movies. And Harrison Ford is so sweaty in all of them too. That's the one advantage. Han Solo's never really that sweaty. He is on Bespin and a few times, but like he's so tan. He's always like out in the desert sweating. He looks good. He looks real good.
Make movies wet again. Have you seen that? I'm sure you've seen that whole thing where it's like movies used to be wet, and you know what? Make them wet again.
that's like my main complaint about Andor that takes me out of it, and a lot of stuff too. But it's a problem with Andor. Is like, everybody looks like they just came out of a little box. Like all the costumes are absolutely perfect. Everybody's hair is all amazing. There's like no blemishes on anything.
Everyone's very matte.
And I don't know. It's just like Party City Disneyland mode, where I'm like, this is not what I imagine the universe feeling like. So it takes me out of the world, and I can't enjoy the story as much as I should. But
see, I never clocked that before. So thank you for taking one of my favorite Star Wars projects down a peg and ruining it for me. I really fucking appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm
No
kidding.
problem.
I'm like, I liked the party. I didn't even notice. Now I'm like, damn, you're right. Like,
it's like they're well designed. Like you could still say, oh, it's great costuming. Like the costumes are good, but they just don't feel real to me. But
yeah,
whatever.
no, I can
That's
see
a
that.
whole other can of worms. But yeah, these next episodes that we're gonna get are very weird. I don't know if you're ready for these ones, Ryan.
Oh God,
I need to go look at. I'm gonna look at what they are right now. Of what you're about to get into.
You should.
What is our cast of characters that will be involved? Can you say that?
They are Yoda. They are Yoda focused episodes.
Oh, I like these. I love these ones. I actually love these episodes.
I like them too. They are big swings, like big ambitious lore establishing swings, like the
Is
son
Yaddle
and the
gonna be in
daughter
here?
level stuff.
Yes. Oh, I'm excited for you. Oh, I love these ones.
Yaddle is not around. No.
Okay. All right. Just wondering when she's gonna show up.
Well, we will see her
In Clone Wars. I've definitely seen like an animated model of her. Is she in Clone Wars or is it another show?
I don't remember. I can't remember.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember too.
I do actually remember, but
Jackson's a little liar. He's just
listen. The face he presents to the public is not necessarily his internal. Look, you're learning a lot about Star Wars. You're learning a lot more about him. Okay.
Jackson is kind of the Palpatine to my Anakin.
I've kind of like taken you away from all of your other relationships. And said, no, don't trust those people. Yeah, but these next ones are very weird. I like them too, but I haven't watched them in forever, and I'm really interested to check them out. And
if Yoda's a central character that we're like focusing on for the duration of the episode, I'm also just like interested to see how they approach that, because I don't think we've done that before at all.
No, like literally not since the very first episode when it's just him and the clones on Toydaria. Like we have not spent that much time with Yoda, so it'll be cool to see. Well, thank you very much, Chelsea, for joining us again. Appreciate it as always, and always a blast to have you on. Anything else you want to tell to the people?
No, just again, thank you for having me. I feel like we got I feel like we were just so off topic. So I apologize if I just add like an element of just like ping ponging around, but it's such a fun time.
Focused.
So
no, I would rather have the discussion be like that than be like, okay, and then the next scene was this. I mean, when it's like the movies, I do want to talk about like every single individual scene, but in this one, it's like it's much more interesting to me to talk about like the broader strokes of Padme and Anakin's relationship dynamics than like, so like what happened when they, also the food remains terrible. She's like serving Clovis this nice plate of sliced tomatoes and chicken legs. That's just like the only food that exists in the universe.
Oh man, Satine style dining there.
Mm-hmm.
dude, she should have, at least she didn't bust out her 5 blossom bread that she's so famously known for making. I was like, but
is that what they needed the berries for in that one episode?
It's the one where like, no, that's the Jogan fruit one. There's one where she's like wanting to have a night in with Anakin, and she's like, I made my blossom bread. I make it all the time. It's like, wait, what? Like, okay.
Yeah,
I gotta try that.
She's really busy, but her parents did manage to teach her like one baking thing before she became.
She's a sourdough girly. She's like, I've had this sourdough starter since 18 BBY. Like.
She just needs a little COVID to explore her baking passion.
It's true.
God, that makes me think of this. You know the From a Certain Point of View books.
Yes.
For Ryan, I think I've talked to you about this before, but they're just three collections of short stories that go through the original trilogy, and all the short stories are from like the perspective of not even just side characters, but pretty much everyone that isn't like Luke, Han, Leia, and Darth Vader. Like
A mouse droid.
yeah.
Oh, what the hell?
But
Interesting.
one of them is about Aunt Beru wanting to, and she's like, maybe I will go into Mos Espa and take a cooking class and start my own restaurant and blah, blah. I'm like,
Oh,
I'm sorry, Aunt Beru. I don't give a fuck about this.
dude, her hidden passion revealed. That's hard cutting Star Wars lore that will play out in the future, I'm sure.
That could be a fun story. It's just like the way that it was written was not interesting to me. But
Yeah,
Don't tell me this happens like the scene in A New Hope where he's like, he better have those droids ready, and then the next time we come to his house, it's all burnt and their skeletons are there. Owen leaves the kitchen and she's like, you know what? I am gonna start investing in my hobbies. And then next scene is her just getting destroyed by the
that
Empire.
literally is actually what it is. If I remember
Stop.
correctly, at the end of her kind of like ideating and fantasizing and thinking about like, oh, if I was a girl and I made these different decisions when I was younger, maybe my life would be different now. I could be misremembering, but I'm like 99% sure it ends with like, and then there was a knock on the door, and she's like, "Oh,
Stop.
let me go see who's here."
And they just
so I
God.
think
Oh
it
my God.
actually is that. Yeah.
Just like her death perspective of her like fingers being vaporized in front of her, those last final moments playing through.
Oh my God.
Her vision
Every
like,
day there is-
obscuring into nothing.
Every day there is a new horror I discover in the Star Wars universe. And today you have granted me Aunt Beru finally deciding to do something for herself and getting annihilated.
Yep. Maybe I need
Wow.
to reread that one. I actually like that story now.
God, man, if she just left a little bit earlier to go to those cooking classes too, whole different Star Wars we're getting there.
For real.
Oh my God. Wow.
Well, thanks everyone for listening. Does anyone have anything else to say before I hit this stop button?
Nope.
Come on, Ryan, hit us with some wisdom.
For there to be light, there must also be darkness. I think that's how one of these episodes started.
Yes.
I was like, okay,
One of the one of the quotes. Yeah.
yeah. I was like,
That
whatever.
was a good
Whatever.
wisdom.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, see you guys next time.